Hi, so it's Robyn Ridley from the Goddess Sanctuary. So I'm coming to you live today to have a little bit of a chat about the rose gold chalice. So when we think about a chalice, we think of a cup. And when we're talking about the rose gold chalice, it very much takes me to that connection with the divine feminine, the beautiful divine feminine within. So we're talking about all that the chalice represents. So, what does it mean to you if you were to see a chalice? Um, would it be adorned with carvings, scrolls, gems, etchings, symbols? Like, what would your chalice look like? So, if I was to hand you a rose gold chalice, allow your imagery to ignite and decide what your chalice may look like. A rose gold chalice is a direct connection to the divine feminine within our womb center. So we have, the orange band of our body, which is to do with our sensuality and all of the things to do with women, water, the fluid. Which is part of the birthing process, and so much goes on in this center. But when we think about a rose gold chalice, it's very much connecting us to that divine meditation through this sacred center. So you can only imagine as your chalice is full, especially if you see your chalice full with water and overflowing with water, then there is a great connection to this center. So it's like the divine connection and the divine feminine is connecting with us through this center. I just want you to take a moment to think about, like, when we look at tarot and we think the Three of Cups, we see the rejoicing and the celebration of women or three sisters coming together. It doesn't matter how you interpret that card, but we know that it's the sacredness and the excitement and the possibilities in the Three of Cups. So, what would it be like if you had one cup and then another two cups, and your top cup was overflowing and it came down, cascading over the other two cups? Can you think of those beautiful water and crystalline energies that could be seeping down and into your body and around you? Because you are, in essence, the cup. If you stand there in that beautiful receptive position of being your own cup. How is your cup? Is your cup full? What about abundance, and prosperity? Like, is your cup abundant with energy? Doesn't necessarily have to be just finances and money. It's like the divine feminine. It's about the growth, the expansion, the fluidness, the beautiful emotional intelligence that can come from this center and through our expression. So let us think about the divine feminine for a moment. Let us think about the divine, the creator. It's like as we tap into those beautiful feminine energies, we are holding our arms open and saying, yes, we are receptive. We weren't designed to push, we weren't designed to push as a beautiful feminine being from that divine aspiration, if you like, of the womb center. It's like our energy center. If it's open and receptive, this then ignites that beautiful energy where we can create. We can create so much. We can be inspired. We can then put our energy out. But it's about being open and receptive to allow that energy to build. That think of the water. The waters, it's like anointing ourselves. It's anointing us. It's anointing our sacredness. It's anointing our body. It's enabling us to connect to the woman within. We don't necessarily have to have children to be fully expressing ourselves in this center, because we learn to create in whole new ways. So the divine feminine, when I really saw the image of the chalice, with a beautiful gem on the side, and I visualized all the water just cascading down, and it was like going over the 3 cups, you know, and I thought it would be really beneficial for each of you, each of us, to actually visualize what our cup looks like. First and foremost, is it open and receptive? Are we open and receptive? Are we ready to have those energies where we're connecting to that gentler, softer aspect of ourselves? Doesn't mean we can't be all powerful and step up and be who we need to be, but it means we can do it from that beautiful place of receptivity and awareness and the balancing of the emotions. So it's like, you know, instead of that emotional wave, we actually have an understanding of that and we feel that emotion and that movement, that fluid movement within our bodies. It's an absolute blessing. So when we think of the divine feminine, you know, what does that look like to you? You know, you may get an image of a goddess, you may get an image of a representation, you may have some sort of a God source energy, but it's like knowing that this is no, you know, this is no secret, this is no, I don't know, and for some reason I'm getting the energy of Thoth or Thoth, however you prefer to say it, coming in here, and it's like, wow, this is the scribe. It's like we can write our own story. As a beautiful, divine, feminine being, we can write our own story. So I ask you, what is your story? You know, are you expanded? Are you seeing things much more than what they appear to be or much more than what they are? Because many a time when we learn different modalities and we learn different things, we can become pigeonholed. We can put ourselves into various little compartments and we start to see ourselves in a certain way. So the energy of the divine feminine and the opening of the cup has asked me to bring forth today the sharing of the information that we are not confined, we are not restricted, and we are not defined. Any of the information that you have learned along the way is actually a definition which can be used as an evolutionary approach for you to further expand, further grasp, further know who you are, and knowing that it's much more and much bigger than what you could have initially imagined. So I think on that note, it's about just saying yes, you know, saying yes. I just had a moment there where I thought maybe I forgot to press record. So that's what I was just doing then. Okay, so the divine feminine, the beautiful rose gold. Now think of the rose gold. It's got that rose color. It comes in and it softens the gold. And this is where we connect with that feminine energy. And when I saw the vision of this cup, it was like, it needs to be shared. It needs to be shared that the cup is evolutionary. The cup is evolving. The cup keeps growing. More cups keep growing. There's more than one chalice. You know, one chalice is just an overflow into all the others. So it's like saying yes, but not limiting yourself. So as an emotional being, as a feminine woman or someone who identifies with their feminine essence in a deep way, how do you see yourself showing up? You know, there is a moment in time. We're in 2026 and there is no sitting around. 2026 is about leadership as well. Now we need to lead in our own way. Gone are the days of push, push and strategy and push, push. And it's actually about being heart-led, heart-centered. Because if it's not, people can tell. And this is what we don't need. You know, it's like we need to be authentic. We need to show up as ourselves. And more than ever, this is truly necessary and valued. So at this time, this is where you're not going to be a clone. You're not going to be a part of somebody else's evolution. This is about you. You're going to evolve. You're going to say yes. You're going to find your point of difference. And you really are going to share from your heart. Now, when you're sharing from your heart, that's all you need to do. Because so much leadership can come from this representation and this place. So I truly hope that you can get that understanding, because the visions that I'm seeing are huge. But the visions that I'm seeing are the potential for us as women to hold space with humanity, to hold space where things are not necessarily as they seem. You know, we need to trust our intuition, we need to trust our guidance, and we need to embrace and say yes, to actually speak up. Your expression is essential. Your truth is essential. So, as a divine being and a divine woman, I ask you, what is it that you are being asked to do right now? What is it that you are being asked to share? What is it that you are being asked to express? You know, it's time. There's no holding back. The time for you to play small, the time for you to be insignificant, and the time for you to be put asunder by anybody, including yourself, are done. Those times are finished. So, on that note, I will call it a day for this talk. I just hope that you can get some grasp of that rose gold chalice and all that it represents. So just imagine the glistening and the glow that it has, the beautiful waters cascading, the beautiful visual, and know that this is all a representation of you. So rose gold chalice, if you have rose gold jewelry, it might be gnarly to get that out at this point in time. If not, just be sure to soften your energies by bringing in that beautiful pink hue and actually connecting with that gorgeous womb center, feeling the freedom there. This is a time of freedom. This is a time of the individuation process, but that's a whole new story. This is sort of going further back from that. This is actually gaining that connection with the divine, that connection with the feminine. And if you have a goddess or you have a particular being that supports you in this process, then I encourage you to work with him, her, whoever at this point in time. Take note if you get any messages, jot them down. You know, don't discount what you get and don't say no through fear. This is a time where you've got to understand that fear can jump up and rear its ugly head sometimes. And, sometimes it's a saving grace, but oftentimes it can also be a distraction and it can hinder us on our journey. So where are you headed? I'm excited. I look forward to hearing from any of you. If you feel that this connects with you and you feel like there's something, you're sitting on a precipice and you're feeling that divine energy, then I'd love to hear about it. So thank you all so very, very much. Robyn Ridley from the Goddess Sanctuary. So thank you.